Was it just you, or did you have staff with you that went?
It was just me.
Okay.
Yeah, just me.
Were there any family members, Ross?
Are you answering? Yes, my wife did come with me, but I paid for the flight first. I paid for the flight.
Okay.
And she paid for her own food.
Please print a testimonial to my astute legal abilities. I want to use that on my advertising.
Well, I mean, is there anything you want to say in that regard? I mean, I don't think it was actually your legal abilities that were questioned. It was your financial credentials.
You know, I mean, I think that's kind of entertaining. I guess under that theory, Chairman McConaughey was utterly unqualified to do anything with respect to budget and finances because she didn't have a degree in finance.
She runs an office with the voters, Ken. You've been appointed. You know the difference.
No, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with your knowledge and abilities. But I think I've said before, I have more budget experience than Chairman Lauzen with county budgets than Chairman Lauzen and Director Onset combined.
It's important to point out too that Chairman Kane did not file a lawsuit against Deb Seiler. Deb Seiler filed a lawsuit against her. So he really didn't have anything to do with that lawsuit. She filed it against the county, which of course I have no intention of doing. This is not, we can take care of this with the facts.
I guess I do have, since I'm not very qualified to finances. As I understood it, the chairman got up and said he had cut the expenses of his office by 50% in the budget.
You're not listening closely enough.
Okay, well tell me.
Why don't you review the report?
Well, I'm reviewing the report, and I'm saying that what happened was...
You asserted what I said. Yeah. I said you better check that assertion, because that's not what I said. I understand the difference between the payroll line and the non-payroll.
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's not what you said.
I just said you
review
cut
his recording.
As I recall, you said you cut the non-payroll items.
That's not what you first said, Ken, but
okay.
Now that you've amended...
Well, no, you called it expenses, and I took that as different than salaries and wages. Okay, so right. Am I correct when I said you asserted that you cut your non-payroll expenses by 50%?
In the last 2 years, yes.
Okay.
It went from 128 to 63.
Right,
Those types of numbers.
And when I look at that, what I see is that the way that was arrived at is you simply zeroed out the contingency line item, and everything else, all the other expenses are actually up.
Okay, so you have the document that goes from 128,000
right,
to 63,000.
Right, and what happened...
I don't have those resources to operate with. Ken,
you don't have these. This came from your office.
Yes, the bottom line is point to your credentials. When you point to your experience here, all that experience was bad. That 350,000, no matter who sued whom,
But you're changing the subject. I'm asking you to teach me about this 7. Really? It's. I mean, I must not be reading this correctly.
This is why we don't meet with clever attorneys.
Because the truth is revealed.
Because the truth is
revealed. That's what happens in the courtroom all the time.
120. Yeah, it's zeroed out. And what was that? It was supposed to be a grant that he didn't get. So that's not a savings.
We make adjustments so we don't get grants. Let's see what the coroner does.
I did give grants, actually.
You know what?
I just checked that.
He will zero out all the money he anticipated from grants and take it to zero, just like...
I got $2,500 from the health department.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, first of all, Joe Onsick ran that report this morning. 0. But if you want, if Joe needs to amend this and how to look for a $2,500, the bottom line
I just love the Springfield accounting here. That's great. We're cutting out the contingency item and claiming we're saving money.
That's the astute politician and the lawyer, as opposed to let's get the 120.
My employer wrote for 2 separate grants we were not awarded. It's not a matter of fact that we're not trying to get them. We are. We cannot control what the federal government does.
We're evaluated on results, not our intentions as adults.
I wish you'd have others do the same.
So, I would just encourage that you and I get together, because the time that you spend in his, it is not a healthy thing for you.
Mr. Chairman.
That's just my opinion.
I understand.
And I welcome are getting together on a personal basis. And
You play gotcha in public forums. Imagine what would happen one-on-one.
I thought that you said, well, let's do it out in the public, so we have a little bit out in the public.
Yeah, so it's fine. I can just
But
imagine.
maybe if you're serious about a discussion, possibly you would supply that information beforehand so you can have an honest discussion instead of playing gotcha.
We've had this up. All these budgets are all part of the records. Ken, that's just
How about the vehicle? Well, you know what? I don't want to even argue with you.
So do we adjourn?
I think, well, we adjourn.
If you have any more questions, you can come to my office.
I'm still curious about how you make a 50% cut out of an illusory line item. And, that's obviously my lack of MBA training.
Just show me the financial credential. My hat is off to you as an astute political advisor who your coroner is a member of your organization.
Well, here,
and
can I ask another question about
criticism
that?
I'm not going to be examined by a contractor under I believe, a false title, a false pretense. And I know that you claim the experience, and I say the experience cost the taxpayers $350,000.
It's going to cost them.
And it cost them the Montgomery Wards building, if we want to really get into the finances. And that was a lease. And if you want to explore that one sometime,
Now, Mr.
take a look
Chairman,
at what that costs.
Mr. Chairman, you have committed defamation.
We're talking
But
about
of
your
course-
finance background.
I thought, well, no, now we're talking
And we
about
are
the
in the
Montgomery Ward
political
building.
arena.
Now we're talking about the Montgomery Ward building. And that was a defamatory statement. And you'll be hearing from me about it.
Good.
And,
You want to
also,
sue me?
did you get my
sue me?
FOIA request?
See, this is...
No, well, I
This is
wanted
great.
to know why it is that my credentials are relevant to a closed session discussion before the county board. Are you planning to sue me?
No, I'm asking you...
You said
for
image.
$7,600 of taxpayer money, other than the experience that cost the taxpayers $350,000, point to
Are you
your
suggesting I
finance
got the
credentials.
$350,000, Mr. Chairman?
But it's okay to spend 20 for a
It's okay to spend 20 on a consultant who can't do
You'll
it?
see what that comes in at, and it'll be less than it would have cost you to make copies of the files.
No,
We'll
the
get the
20,000 is
expert.
something you're going to, oh, you know,
It's
this is,
$10,000.
$10,000 for
You'll come in
statutory fees,
under
and
your-
for copies. Or statutory fees. You don't know the difference.
Okay. Anyway,
are you suggesting I got paid $350,000 for the Deb salary?
you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
The
You're saying
taxpayers-
it's my fault that the county incurred $350,000?
All I'm saying is if you want to point to your experience, my understanding of that experience for the taxpayers is that that controversy costs all of us $350,000.
And what does that have to do with,
Only
me?
because it's brought up that it's experience. This is
No,
your experience.
You're the one that brought it up. I didn't bring it up as experience that I worked with, was involved in the
Anyway,
Deb salary.
Rob, and to our whatever Fifth Estate. This
there
is
were
why
outside
I think
counsel
that it is
appointed.
much better for Rob and I to speak
You know,
privately rather
and
than...
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. It doesn't have to be Kevin. It can be whoever we deem. For accountability purposes, I want other ears in there. Because send me the list and I'll decide.
Yeah, send them the list.
Send me the list. I'll decide.
So you're saying you don't want a private meeting for accountability?
Absolutely. Because things get misconstrued.
Okay.
And he has a history of doing that. You can ask whoever you want. I'm not talking, yeah. The chairman's wife, she's not relevant. She doesn't work for the county. It's for accountability purposes, because I want to make sure that what's said in that room is what's said in that room, and not that there's some manipulation and whatnot. That's the only reason that I want other people in the room, is for witnesses.
So, I mean, in your opinion, is that going to happen or not, the sit down?
It's up to the chairman. I will sit down, but I'm not sitting down one-on-one, because anything can be alleged in that room. And I have no, it's going to be a his against my word type of thing, and I'm not, the county's already going through this dog and pony show for 1% of the budget, and I don't really want to continue with the dog and pony show. I want accountable, real discussions that have accountability. I have nothing to hide. anything that I say to him, I can say in front of the public. I really don't have anything to hide. It's about accountability. It's not about fearing to sit down with them or anything like that. It's about accountability. And I want what's said in that room to have witnesses.
All right. Well, that's all I had.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. You
I
too.
did have one more question. As far as like a brain